Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on BJPenn.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton. Episode 173 is live ahead of UFC 304 in Manchester, England this weekend. First up, we'll be joined by Daniel Pineda to preview his fight against Nathaniel Wood. Talk to Daniel. It was actually the 4th of July for him, so good that he's taking a bit of time out for them. But really good chat with Daniel just about the layoff. Obviously, he hasn't fought since June of 2023, now fighting over a year later against Nathaniel Wood, going into enemy territory. But he really likes this matchup. He knows Nathaniel is an all-action guy. It's going to be a striking fight, and he says that someone's getting knocked out, someone's getting finished early in this fight. He doesn't expect it to go long. And then we close things out talking to Modestas Bukauskas to preview his fight against Marcin Prachnio. Kind of surprising this fight's opening up the card, but it should be all action for however long it lasts. Modestas coming off that knockout loss to Vitor Petrino last November, which snapped his 4-fight losing streak, including winning 2 in the UFC. So he's looking to get back on track against Prachnio. He knows it's a very tough task for anyone. Obviously, he has a loss to Petrino, but before that, or after that, he did beat Devin Clark. He's a guy that's pretty tough to fight, which Modestas knows the style. It makes it awkward, but he has full confidence to be able to get the win, probably get a knockout as well. So, but be sure to share the show, subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode of Just Scrap Radio. All right, we're joined by Daniel Pineda, who's going overseas to fight UFC 304. Daniel, how's it going, man?
How's it going, brother?
Good. I always enjoy talking to you. Like, we haven't seen you in a while. Like, June of last year, obviously supposed to fight in October. Like, I know your opponent got pulled from that. Like, was there any ever talks to get rebooked quicker than that?
So it was crazy. I forgot his name, but there was that guy who was supposed to fight, and then he ended up going to jail. And then I think that was the last one, right?
Yeah, that was in October. You're supposed to fight. Then I was surprised that they didn't rebook you a lot sooner than this.
I think I ended up pulling a hammy or something, or yeah. I forgot what the hell. Something happened. Then I had my kid, and my son's right now 4 months. So I've been busy, dad life.
With this one, like, were you a bit reluctant to accept to go to England, or were you excited to go into kind of enemy territory?
You know what? At first, when I signed the contract, I didn't know it was going to be in England. I mean, goddamn, fighting at 3 a.m. Ain't nobody. I don't think nobody's looking for that. Looking forward to fighting at 3 a.m. But I mean, it is what it is, you know. And going into enemy territory and a pretty big UFC card, actually. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it is weird that they're keeping it on normal U.S. times, the pay-per-view. So, like, are you gonna just try to stay on American time and not like switch your body over to England time?
Yeah, so they were trying to take me in kind of like they were trying to get me there a little earlier, but I'm trying to stick to my time. So I'm there Tuesday, normal time, and just try to stay up. I'm gonna be a night owl over there.
With Nathaniel Wood, like, how familiar were you with him?
I really wasn't. Like I said, I don't really look up a lot of guys. Like I don't keep up a lot with, you know, like all the featherweights and everything. But I've seen him fight, you know, because he beat Philly, and I fought Philly. So that's the time that I saw him. But yeah, I'm just happy that I'm actually fighting a guy my size. Everybody's like way taller than me. I'm a short little Mexican guy.
What do you think the crowd will be like? Like, you fought people in their whole, like, in enemy territory before, but the British crowds are pretty intense. Like, what are you kind of expecting the crowd to be like?
Well, we'll see at 3 a.m, see how they are. They might be really drunk or real tired. It's going to be one of them too. So, I mean, it's going to be an exciting fight. So, I think they're going to be pumped up, man. I'm going to get booed a lot, but I'll win them as soon as I finish this guy.
How do you think you match up against Nathaniel?
Man, I think it's a good fight. You know, he's fast. He's got good ground. He has good stand-up. And, I mean, he likes pushing forward. I like pushing forward. So, I think we're going to end up meeting in the middle, and one of us has to get finished.
Oh, so you kind of said it there. Like, how exactly do you kind of see playing out? Like, do you think it's going to be a knockout then?
I think one of us getting knocked out, or one of us getting – I'm going to get knocked out, or he's going to get knocked out or submitted. One of them two.
What do you think a win over Nathaniel does for you in this division?
Man, he's what right now? Like, what, 18th, 19th? I mean – it'll get me up there in the top 20, I'm guessing. But, I mean, you know, I've been having bad luck with these freaking top 15 guys. Freaking Cub, you know, I thought I was killing them. I got caught, you know, just a real bad weight cut. And then I fought Philly. He was 15 when I fought him. And Alex Caceres. Son of a bitch. He was 15 too. That 15, I need to find somebody lower then.
Yeah,
So
you
yeah,
gotta get if they offer you 15, be like, what's the 14th guy doing?
like let me get 14th or 13th or something. Yeah, I'm not going against no 15 no more, man. It's been kind of, I mean, I've had good fights with everybody. They're all been exciting fights. I mean, it's been all bonuses except the Philly one. But you know, I'm excited. I'm excited to fight a guy my size. That's what I'm excited.
Do you worry about the weight cut at all? Like having to travel that long on a plane? Like I know people always talk about how you kind of keep the weight going on a plate, like on a plane, like it's hard to get it off.
But yeah, it's what 13 hours, right?
Yes, like it's a long one.
Yeah, it's 13 hours, and yeah, it's gonna suck. I mean, they're gonna be mad at me because I'm gonna be sleeping when they're awake trying to do interviews. So they might be a little mad, but yeah, it's gonna suck the weight cut, and you're not in Vegas where you got the PI to be able to cut weight. So honestly, I think me and Nathaniel need to just come to an agreement and be like, hey, let's meet at 150.
uh, you haven't fought in over a year. Like, do you worry about ring rust or anything like that?
Nah, man, I fight every day at the gym. I'm always helping guys out at the gym. All my guys, they're always training for fights. So I'm always in a fight. So no, no ring dud, nothing like that.
What is kind of the goal for you then this year? Like, if you get past Nathaniel?
Man, I'm gonna try to get another one. And I mean, everybody's trying to fight in this freaking and that spear. It's called a spear,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
man,
that's
every
fair. Yeah,
freaking Mexican put me in it. In the way I fight. You know what I'm saying? It's just why not put me in it?
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I know, like, Ige said he wants to get on that card. Like, maybe that's a guy. Like, I think he's like 14, so maybe that's the perfect fight they throw on there, and that's kind of all action packed.
Yeah, as long as he's not 15, we're good. I ain't
Well,
fighting no more 15.
what do you think about that sphere? Like, it seems pretty cool. Like, that seems once in a lifetime kind of opportunity to fight there. Like, it seems like a pretty cool opportunity if you get it.
Man, yeah, it looks badass. Like I've seen pictures of it. I've seen pictures of the inside. I mean, I'm guessing. I get this is gonna be their first show there, and I'm guessing they're spending a lot of money in it. So, I mean, I guess they're expensive to fucking fight in there, so they're not gonna be doing it a lot. So, and that is a Mexican night. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's gonna be all Mexican fighters. So, I think it'd be a good experience. And it's in Vegas. I like fighting in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's close.
Who is making the trip with you to England?
I'm taking all my coaches, all my regular coaches going with me, and my family's not going to be there this time. I mean, them tickets are ridiculous.
Yeah.
17, $1,800 a ticket. I think I have to watch from the TV.
Just final thing, like, have you thought how much longer you got? Like, I know you're getting up there, but you're still fighting at a high level. Like, it seems like you're not slowing down at all. Like, has that been a thought you've had, or do you just kind of not worry about that until you think you kind of start slowing down?
I've, I've thought about it, and I've always said it. When there's a guy that can fucking throw me around, and I feel like I belong there, then I think I'm gonna hang him up. But right
Yeah.
now, really, nobody's really throwing me around. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Pulling forward is always it's a fight of the night or a finish. Somebody's getting finished. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, how do you say it? I'm not getting punked. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
go fucking walking me down, piecing me up, slapping me around. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I still got it in it. And like, like Dana one time said, like this young generation, man, they don't got it like us. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever I got in the UFC the first time, man, I fought a lot. Now
Mhm.
everybody UFC like easy. So, and I've trained with a lot of young bucks, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're old," until I throw them around, and they're like, "Shit, how you do this shit?" It's that old man strength.
Well, Daniel, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this again.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. All right, we're jumping UFC light heavyweight Modestas Bukauskas, who's back in action at UFC 304. Modestas, how's it going, man?
Yeah. Everything is going very well, thank you. Good to speak to you, mate.
Yeah, obviously it's been a bit since we last saw you, like November last year. Like, was this about the time frame? Like, did you want a bit of time off after that one? Or was this a lot longer than what you expected?
A lot longer than I expected, but I think everything all happens for a reason. I think this was sort of divine intervention. This was how it was supposed to happen in order for me to make certain. I wanted to fight a lot earlier because I was ready to go already in like what pretty much like I was ready to go like as a like sort of beginning of the year. I was just waiting for hopefully March or April, but now it's come about. But I'm glad that it's turned out this way because it means that I actually get to fight at home.
Mhm.
I haven't fight at home since my UFC career. So it's just nice to finally fight on home turf.
How excited were you then when you got the call you'd be fighting in Manchester?
Yeah, it was amazing. And like I said, I feel like everything just clicked together perfectly the way that it should have. Training up in Liverpool with Tom Aspinall and his team. So everything just fell together amazingly. You've got three of the guys that are up there. We're all fighting on the same card, all fighting towards the same goal. It's obviously when I knew that I was fighting, I was just like, okay, well, who's the opponent now? I know that I'm fighting back at home, but who are we going to get? So I actually got offered two different opponents before Marcin Prachnio then came about.
With Marcin Prachnio, like how familiar were you with him?
Yeah, I knew of him. Obviously, I knew that he beat Khalil Roundtree right before he had his resurgence. I know that he's a veteran of the game. He's fought, Ankalaev. He's fought some top level guys. He's had some good wins as well. So yeah, he's a veteran of the game. Highly experienced, highly skilled.
What have you made of his last couple fights? Like he's a guy that can get into these kind of like lackluster fights. Like we saw, he brought Khalil Roundtree into that one where like they didn't throw, or not Khalil Roundtree. Who was it? Khalil Roundtree. When he beat him, he got him into like not throwing a whole lot of volume. Like he kind of gets these guys where like I don't know, for whatever reason they don't throw a whole lot.
Yeah, he's a karate based fighter. Moves in and out. He's fast, and obviously he's probably going to be faster than most of the rest of the light heavyweight division. He's very light on his feet, so it's very hard to read, isn't it? So obviously he poses problems, but those are all problems that I've diligently worked on in training camp.
The odd thing though about fighting at home is it going to be some odd start times. Like, have you done anything to kind of deal with that?
I think I'm going to be fighting first on the night. So if that's the case,
I guess it won't be too bad for you then.
I'll be fighting at 11 p.m. and that's like, I've been used to fighting around that time for Cage Warriors fights. So this will be no different really. It's just another day in the life. So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to going and putting a performance.
Are you disappointed that the UFC did that? Like with the times, like I know they did it the last time with Edwards Usman too. They did it at a normal time. Like I'm in Canada, I like it even better when the pay-per-view's on in the afternoon, not going till like 1, 2 in the morning here. So like I was kind of surprised that they made the start times what they did.
Well, they're gonna sell, at the end of the day, it's a really big card. Like one thing that I enjoy is the fact that, the only reason why they're doing that is because it's such a big card. And obviously they're selling quite a lot to the American market, so that means more eyes are going to be on it. Maybe and even in the stadium, I saw like most of the tickets getting sold out like early on, like within the first like I don't know, a couple of weeks, even like a couple of hours. Do you know what I mean? People asked me for tickets, and already all the cheapest one were already gone. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's just a bit of a late start time, but in terms of viewership and stuff like that, I mean, it probably couldn't have gone any better in terms of a worldwide viewership.
Do you think like the crowd might actually be the most alive for your fight? Like kind of is the opposite where it's like not a whole lot of people show up for the early fights. It kind of gets bigger and bigger, but I could see it being the opposite where a lot of people are more alive at 11 p.m. than 5, 6 a.m.
Well, that's when a lot of their nights are going to be starting, is around 11 o'clock, isn't it? They're going to already be starting to drink probably around 9 p.m. And then, by the time it gets to the early, start of the early prelims, like most people will be in the arena. And then by 2 o'clock, they're already just like hanging on the edge of their seats, like trying to get through it. It might mean that there'll be more of a crowd, which will be great. It might mean that there'll be more interest for like the whole card as well. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, we've got to go in there and fight. We've got to go and do our thing. So, whether the crowd's there or the crowd's not, obviously we've got to go and do the job. But, I expect there to be at least more seats than normally on early prelims.
Is there any added pressure just fighting at home for this one? Like kind of, I imagine you get a lot of people being like, oh, I'm going to come watch, or, oh, can you give these tickets? Just like kind of everyone wants the hometown guys to all get the win.
A lot of people have been asking me for freebies, mate. Do you know what I mean? When they ask for tickets, like, oh, tickets are quite expensive, mate. Could you hook me up? Yeah, sure, I'll hook you up because I have that connection, don't I? Do you know what I mean? Look. Sorry, what was the question again?
Like, is there any pressure just fighting at home in England?
Not at all. I think I'm excited. Like I finally don't have to travel nowhere. I literally just got a 3-hour drive and I'm in Manchester. So you know, I've had to travel on the plane, you know, hours, have to adjust the time difference and stuff like this. And now I'm like, you know, I'm fighting at home. I'm like, you know, not far away from anything. So yeah, man. Like, and it's a brand new arena,
Yeah.
you know, the first sporting event in an indoor arena at the Co-op. So biggest stadium I would have fought at ever. So this is an amazing opportunity. You've got to be excited for things like these.
With it, like, who are kind of the main guys you're working with for this fight?
Sorry?
Who are the main people you're working with for this camp?
Yeah, so obviously I've still got my main training partners at BST. Obviously Lucas Klinger and Danny Batten running it over there. Obviously my dad is my main guy, my main man. I've got Will Curry as well towards the end of the camp. I'm training with, but mainly, you know, like, you know, Tom Aspinall. We've got Phil DeFries, Mick Parkin, who's also fighting on the card. You know, you've got Ante Delia I've been training with as well, who's come down to Tom's camp to train. There's a whole host of really good guys up there. Joffrey Horton, who's going to be fighting for the EFC heavyweight title. You know, James Webb. So we've got a whole host of like amazing guys that have been, you know, training up there in the Liverpool camp, and it's been great. You know, I've got to train and spar with some really high level guys, and they're all bloody heavyweights. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, Phil DeFries, I don't even know how heavy he is, but when he's on top of you on the floor, it's bloody like you're sinking underwater and you're just constantly drowning. You know, so yeah, there's been some really good, and obviously training with Tom and stuff like that. I mean, you can't really ask for better, can you?
How do you kind of see this fight playing out with you and Marcin?
Like I say, I see myself bringing the best of myself. I see myself bringing out the best performance in all my fights. The most free, the most certain of myself, the most confident in myself and my abilities. I see myself throwing out more things than I usually do, and just bringing out my best performance. I always go to the fight to go and get the finish, and like I say, that is what I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for a finish. He's going to bring it to me as well. Obviously, you know, he's no slouch. You know, he comes in with some powerful shots, but I do feel like I'm the better fighter, and I'm going to go in there and prove it.
Oh, what do you think a win here does for you and puts you in the division?
I think another win, and I should be fighting top 15 guys. You know what I mean? One more big win against another guy ranked probably just outside the top 15, and then I'll be looking at top 15 for that third fight this year. So I'm hoping for a third fight this year. Anyways, I'll got to go and get the job done on this one, but it sets me up to fight guys slowly working my way up the ladder. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just got to go and get the job done, and then I can make all of those things happen.
Just final thing, I know whenever we always talk about kind of your vision board you always do, and you always do a lot of that stuff. What is kind of on that for this year then?
Feed the faith, starve the doubt, accept the pain, feel the pain, embrace the pain. That's what's actually written up there right now. Obviously, you know, my record being 16-6 and stuff like this, and getting the win. So, you know, like I say, it's pretty self-explanatory for the stuff coming up. Like pretty soon, but it's to have 3 fights this year and 3 wins this year. So, you know, obviously I've started very late. It's obviously July, but you know, you see guys that win big, they get quick turnarounds, and you know, they're being thrust into the spotlight. So that is my goal, to be thrust into the spotlight via my performances.
Well, Modestas, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this again.
You're the man. Thank you so much, brother. Have a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care, my man.